Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to talk about oil and what they're potentially going to do. And I'll give you my opinion. Again, it's just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. But we'll take a look at what they're looking at. So let's first dive into what they're thinking about doing. So it looks like Biden's considering releasing 1 million barrels of oil per day from the strategic reserves. So they're contemplating. Well, I'll say this: they're looking at how to lower the price of oil. They're not actually fixing the problem, which is the supply-demand deficit that's eating through this oil and eating through our inventories, I should say. They're not looking at actually fixing the problem. They are basically inventorying it over. So they're taking oil from inventory to not slow down demand, because demand, if they are successful at lowering the price, will remain elevated and continue to make the problem worse. So what they're doing is creating a buying opportunity for anyone who knows what they're doing. So that's my opinion. So I think that oil prices will originally go down. And these guys, here's another thing, guys. Let me come back in real quick. These guys are like ultra, like they do whatever they want. So they're gonna release this. I guarantee a whole bunch of people are gonna position, and then it's gonna squeeze and go way up. That's kind of my guess. And what I mean by these people, the banks are, like this with government, and they're working with each other to create buying opportunities for the banks. I honestly believe that. But they're going to try to lower oil prices here with the strategic release. It says the plan is being considered and involves releasing around 1 million barrels per day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve for the coming months, a person familiar with the deliberations said. Biden earlier this month announced a coordinated release of oil from the reserves in conjunction with other nations. He also released around 60 million barrels in November, which he said at the time was the largest release from the reserve in the U.S. history. So here's my question, okay? We already had the largest release in history of 60 million barrels in November. What did that do to the oil price? It delayed it and created a buying opportunity for us. He's going to do the same thing here. He's just going to create another buying opportunity for us. So my take on it is, if we get an actual pullback in some of these exploration companies and perhaps maybe in the energy service companies, if that's what you like, I think this is a buying opportunity. I'm going to say it again. This is a buying opportunity. It says, make no mistake, the current spike in gas prices is largely the fault of Vladimir Putin. No, it's not. No, it's not. He may have accelerated some sort of move, but it's not the reason of the spike in gas prices. The underlying structural market conditions are heading us towards a problem in energy prices. This is the same thing that I would say the medical event in 2020 has done to the housing, to the real estate industry. If that caused the spike, and once it's over, how come it's not going back down? It's because you don't have any inventory. There's no inventory. It will continue to go up until you get inventory. The same thing is happening here. It's the same parallel. What's happening is we've got all this inventory of oil across the world. We are eating through the inventories as we go. When inventories hit a critical level, it's going to go skyrocket. All they can do is delay the move. They can't stop the move, in my opinion. So what they're doing is they're lily-dallying around, saying, "Oh, we can temporarily suppress the price of oil." But if you're running massive deficits every single week, it's going to eat through that inventory. We're not solving the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is that we are not producing enough oil to satisfy demand. And if we don't have an alternative to go to, if we don't have a solution to have people go to some other solution, whether that's electric vehicles, I don't know, whatever the other solution is, it's just going to eat through your inventory. And then your inventory is going to be at even more critical levels, and prices are going to rocket. It's not going to be a slow move. It's going to be a move that happens all at once. And here is, we also have last week, California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom rolled out a $9 billion proposal to hand out $400 debit cards to drivers in the state to help soften the impact of the highest gas prices in the country. In Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp, who is facing one of the toughest re-election races in the history, signed a bill that would give $250 to $500 tax refunds to Georgians. A move several of his rivals blasted as election year politicking. And a Democratic governor, Janet Mills, faces a competitive re-election campaign in Maine. She has proposed some of the most generous relief to qualified taxpayers interstate in the form of $850 checks to cushion the blow of inflation and gas prices. Here is the problem, guys. Here's the problem. We are giving people money. We are giving the buyers of oil money and saying, here, soften the blow. Don't reduce your demand. At the same time, eating through our inventory on the supply side. How do you think this is going to end? As we give people more money to buy gas, and as we try to suppress the price of gas at the same time, you think demand's going to drastically cut back? I don't think so. I think we're going to eat through the inventories. And when we eat through those inventories, we're going to be left with a lot less inventory. I'm sorry, but this is like monumentally stupid, in my opinion. So I would use it 100% as a buying opportunity. Now, what else do I have here? I'm going to shut that down. We've got Eric Nuttall. Eric Nuttall, let me step back. It says inventories drawing when they need to be building. So we are in, gosh, guys, this is so, I feel like we're in the movie Idiocracy. I really do. It just feels like, I don't know. So inventories, usually we've got periods where demand is usually lower, supply comes online, and we build our inventories back up. It's basically a large cycle. So we cycle throughout the year of building and drawing from inventory. To soften the demand, we use inventory, and to cushion, we'll call it cushion the blow, we add it back during certain parts of the year. Now, if we look at the big three, we've got U.S. crude oil inventory deficit to the 4-year average. We are accelerating the deficit lower and lower and lower. Look at this deficit. We are way down here in terms of our deficits. Usually what happens is you cycle back and forth. We've been running a deficit back here, but the medical event had delayed that, almost as if somebody wanted that medical event to happen where they could print a bunch of money and slow down the moves of commodities. But we are really driving down with deficits here. This is the big three: crude, gasoline, and distillate. We are way down there, guys. Is this slowing down? Maybe a little bit, but we are still at mega deficit land. And here's our global onshore surplus versus whatever, and we're going negative. And the comment that he has here is summer 22 draws are going to be epic, which means that this is going to accelerate. And looking at this, just to get in this here, 24 million barrels per day of oil demand in 2050 would require every single car, plane, truck, and ship on electricity, hydrogen alternative, and shrinking current non-transportation demand like petrochemicals and plastics by 40%. All while we add 2 billion people onto the planet. It doesn't make any sense, guys. I don't think it's possible. We are going to ramp absolutely everything. I think we're still going to ramp oil demand up. I think we're going to ramp all the alternatives up. We're going to ramp hydrogen up. We are going to ramp absolutely everything, and we're still going to have a shortfall of energy. That's my take on it. So when I look out there and I look at this and I just take a big picture view, they're just creating this large buying opportunity, because if the market gets scared and we sell off, I'm going to be in there picking stuff off with whatever I think is the best opportunity. All of the companies that I go over on a daily basis that are just breaking out of these patterns, if they come back down, they just gave you another opportunity to buy. That's the way that I view this. We are going to be eating through inventories this summer like no other worldwide. And when inventories get to critical levels, it's game on, guys. It's game on. We're going to see the biggest price move in oil that you'll ever see in your life. Because one, people are going to know that the inventories have been drawn down. And two, if they can't stop the move, price is the limiting factor. And if price is the limiting factor and they're handing out checks to people and saying, here, use this to buy gas, they're just fueling the oil price move. I mean, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose so all of their oil buddies can make a bunch of money. I don't know. But doesn't that seem a little bit weird that they're going to create a buying opportunity, we get to purchase, and then they're going to hand people checks to go buy oil? That makes no sense, guys. I'm sorry. That's just idiocracy playing out. Now, I was looking at some of the, I was looking at, crude oil. This is the pre-market. It's going to come, it could come back. It could come back to $85 if they can really try to push this down. Maybe they're successful at it. Maybe they're not. I don't know how low this will go. I don't think they're going to be able to get it too much lower. All it is kind of a one-time spike. So I would be looking to be as a buyer. What do I like for companies? Something like an SM Energy's sitting on top of its pattern. It could pull back a little bit. And if we don't see that pullback, it means that people are in there buying oil companies. So if we don't see a pullback here, it's their banker buddies buying a bunch of stock. They're in there buying it all up, saying, oh, give me some, give me some. Especially if you see a gap lower and then it gets bought up throughout the day. That means someone's in there buying it. It means that they're just creating opportunity for their buddies. That's what it means. And I'm going to use it as an opportunity to buy if I see that. Now, here's SM Energy. I like SM Energy. I like Centennial Resource Development. It's right at its breakout point. Crew Energy's already broken to the upside. If this pulls back, I'd like it again. Again, this should all be Petroleum, another one that's sitting at its breakout. These are big breakouts, guys. When they break, they're going to run like heck. They are going to run like heck. Every time we've broken this line, look, vertical move all the way up to 213. We broke this line again. Vertical move straight up to 226. What happened here? Vertical move all the way to almost $200. We will break this, and I think we are going to break this all-time high in Callon Petroleum. It could be a move, and I'm just throwing a move out here where it goes something like up to $400 or something. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, and you don't have to. Oops. And this is just kind of looking at everything from a big long-term perspective. If I were to back out of something like an SM Energy and we do a move like this, I'm going to go crazy on us, guys. Let's do it. Let's go full crazy. I think 140, 150 definitely easily possible for SM Energy here in a big expanding wedge. We were at the bottom of the wedge. We're about halfway, and then we break, and we could go all the way up to maybe 140 easy. If we break the top of 140, we're gone. We're gone. We've got. Let me see if there's anything else with a little bit. I mean, Athabasca Oil. This thing, if it gives a good buying opportunity, we could hit to $5 in a heartbeat. There's not much resistance through this area, and the possibility we'll sit at $5, $7 somewhere in this range for a while with all this trading that's happened before. It usually mirrors the way going back up, and then I think $14 is definitely possible, and even higher, depending on where the price of oil goes and how fast. Northern Oil and Gas, like all these companies, guys, you take a big picture view, big picture view, and they're breaking these big downtrend patterns. Lots of volume stepping in. So when looking at this stuff, and CRK looks ridiculous, guys. Like, look at the volume kick up. We're breaking things, and I mean, you could go way up there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the setup here is ridiculous, guys. It is absolutely ridiculous. I still can't get my mind wrapped around this. I don't know why they would do it. But again, my opinion, buying opportunity. These companies all look super good. They can't stop the move. They can delay it for a little while. That's my opinion. And I think that the fireworks are going to happen late 2022, early 2023. They can try to slow it down. All they're going to do is eat through their entire inventory. Then we're going to be left with price being the only determining factor with no spare capacity if we continue to draw down other inventories. And the actions that they're using where they're giving people money to go buy gas, if that's what their motive is, to soften the blow, is going to accelerate the use of that thing. If we're short oil and that's what people want to buy, and they give money, maybe they'll even give money specifically to buy oil. I'm not sure, gas. It's just gonna, it's not gonna slow the move. It's going to actually keep the move going. So that's my opinion, guys. I'd use it as a buying opportunity. Do what you want, but those are the companies that I like. And SM Energy at 150, 140 bucks. It's possible. I think it's coming. That's what I think. Could we sit here for a little while at this support resistance area? We definitely could. And I would see that as a buying opportunity. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out my website if you guys like this type of analysis. I've got a lot of stuff on the website. If you're a Platinum member, we're doing a meeting this weekend on Saturday. If you're not a Platinum member, go ahead and sign up if you want to do a question and answer. I go over a lot of stuff during that meeting. Thanks, guys. See you next time.